Hey, it's Whoops here with another Hearthstone deck. This time, a deck that I've been wanting to do for quite a while now, which is Thief Priest, but with a little bit of a twist, using a lot of the dragons because we do have Dragonoid Operative back into Standard. This is not the deck that the poll was based around. For that, I'm going to do a little bit more testing with a variant of the deck that has even less of a win condition, but will just stall out the game until we can out-annoy our opponent where they just give up. For this deck, I played 15 games with it. Across those 15 games, I won 53% of them, which was pretty decent overall. And there are some clear weaknesses, sure, with this deck, but you do run a lot of different types of early game removal, which gives this deck a real big advantage, while also running cards that will allow you to duplicate your opponent's win conditions or some of their answers that they might have access to, and thus allowing you to just win the game through that. We also do have Kazakusan in the deck, and this is probably one of the better homes for him right now, just because it's so easy to actually play for dragons within this deck. Though I did cut a few amalgams of the deep from earlier versions of this deck just so I could have a little bit more removal. For the Mulligan guide of the deck, you basically are looking for a lot of your early game removal tools, or cards like Psychic Conjurer, just so you can start to get some cards from your opponent's deck to see what you actually are playing against. If you have a Lightmaw Netherdrake in your hand, some of the cards that aren't technically early game removal tools do become early game removal tools in the form of Gift of the Naru or Desperate Pair, because you do need a Holy and Shadow spell to actually have that effect fully online. But honestly is one of your best tools to actually play against some of the aggro-based decks that are floating around. Shard of the Naru is also a really good card to keep in your open hand, just because you could, in theory, trade it in, but you could also use it to silence your opponent's board. That all being said, let's look at some games. Okay, time for a game against Hunter. I want to get rid of Shard of the Naru and Kazakusan, mainly because of the fact that Kazakusan doesn't do anything for us early game, and the Onyxian Warder doesn't either, but it is what it is. Oh, Harvester of Envy, not a card that I really want to see if we don't have access to Identity Theft, but oh well. Okay, so they're not quest line, unless they're holding it in their hand. The Light It Burns is probably the best card that we could choose here, since I don't know what type of hunter they are. And generally speaking, it's just a really good early game removal, as long as they don't have stealth, that is. Okay, we're going to use Switcheroo, Murloc Holmes, Back Charge. We can actually play Murloc Holmes. We know a card that was currently played, which is the Stag Charge. Going for Stag Charge there. I guess Prince Renethal is in the hand, but I guess it was King Crush. A little bit frustrating, but it's okay. Okay, they're going to coin something out. Arlon, okay. Pretty sure Murazond, we don't actually get the seeds even if we could play him down this turn. We're just going to put down the Warder, get Arlong down to 1 HP, or we could actually just pass the turn back. Okay, Wild Spirits. Oh goody, we do have the Light Bomb to just nuke their board. Though, do I want to just save Light Bomb for now until it becomes an even bigger problem? Because I'm pretty sure the second Stag comes out next turn, or their next turn, I mean. Light It Burns, number 2. A Warder. Could have also silenced everything here too. Just putting a little bit of pressure on board. There's another Stag, which means another weapon. And the second bear comes out too. Doggy Biscuit. It's a bit frustrating. We might want to use the Shard of the Naru to silence everything and then use the Light Bomb. Hit that a little bit, and then hit that. Then do it like this. Doesn't really matter the order we did there. Heal up a little bit just because we were low. Jar and Saber, Collective Breeder. Oh, Identity Theft could be funny. Let's see what we can generate here. Mountain Bear is actually really good, but I don't think we need Sire. Let's go with Sire. Don't think there is any better choice there. We can heal up a little bit. Use the Conjurer, get a Peasant, kill the 2-1. And we do know they have Crush in hand. Yeah, they have Crush in hand. They have, or had, 2 damage on board, plus they would have been 1 off of lethal. Frenzy Fangs. Probably should have actually went with the Mountain Bear now that I'm thinking about it. Oh well. Shard of the Naru is exactly what we need. And use that, and then the Warder, which gets rid of 2 of their 2-1s. And then we're back in the same position as before. I think they were still 1 off of lethal unless they have some type of buff. And we do have Sire in hand. We're probably going to have to play that. A Saber into another Saber. Honestly, the best thing that probably could have happened there. A Pet Collector doesn't actually do anything because they don't have any other minions. Just gonna shotgun the Sire. Heal up a little bit. Puts us out of lethal range. They have 8 on board, 8 in hand. So we'd be at 2 HP. They're actually attacking into the Sire. Okay. That's actually pretty good for us. Rather than attack into the Sire to heal us up, then, well, I guess technically I wouldn't want them to do that, but I don't mind them doing a Vicious Slither Sphere. I'm probably going to use Murzad next turn. Don't see why not, because it puts up a taunt in between them and us. Technically 3 taunts, and it's not like they're going to run some type of silence. Then we're just going to use Frenzy Fangs. This Sire is doing a lot of work this game. So they killed our Mountain Bear. We still have the taunts. Okay, so what do we need as a top deck? A Light Bomb would be nice. They're going to heal us up a little bit more with our Sire. We're going to have to get rid of the Hydra. There's the Light Bomb. Okay, so we're actually going to want to attack with these 2 first and then go face. I think I missed 1 damage there because, whoops, forgot that the Naga would actually survive that, but it is what it is. So, Crush is a little bit annoying. Let's see what we can generate here. Another Sire is really funny and probably the best option out of these 3. We are going to be taking a little bit of damage here, but if we could somehow reduce that by another 1, we could actually play Harvester in the same turn as Sire and get a 3rd Sire, but I don't think that's going to happen. So they have 1 card in hand. Theotar would be a nice top deck. Okay, maybe it wouldn't be a nice top deck. Oh, Onyxia actually is probably a pretty good top deck there. Going to be a little bit greedy with the Sire, because we can actually buff it up a bunch here because of Onyxia. I'm gonna do that. Keeps our Onyxia protected too, which is pretty nice. And so they actually had Sire in hand. Okay, that's fine. I guess we just shotgun the Sire, see how much damage it does to their face. Because it could give us lethal. Guess it doesn't, but it is what it is. I'm assuming they won't be able to deal with this board because they are a hunter. And we just win here. I think I didn't realize I had lethal, but oh well. Okay, time for a game against Druid. I'm gonna get rid of the operative and get rid of Thrive in the Shadows. Rather have the other two removal. And we get basically the exact same card back in our hand. At least it's the other copy. This is the reason why I started running one of each a golden copy and a non-golden if I have access to both. Because then at least I'm not as frustrated whenever this happens. Okay, so the Drake is actually pretty good for later. The issue with Mulligan against Druid is there's like 3 or 4 different Druid decks it could all be, and they all have different game plans, which makes it a little bit difficult to try to Mulligan against. Just going to pass turn again. So they're going to ramp up a bit. We can use Identity Theft, see what we can get. Nourish, just to grab Nourish. And Rate Negotiator probably is the best. I'm assuming they're ramp at this point. Okay, they're going to use Nourish. We can actually use Nourish next turn too. So we're going to coin out Nourish, 2 more mana crystals, and then use Thrive in the Shadows to see what we can get. Grabbing the second Thrive in the Shadows, or the light it burns, that's fine. Light Palm is actually a really nice top deck. Let's get rid of all of those right away. Okay, what do we want to do here? We could use it. Light it burns. Rid of the 6/6. Then we could use Draconoid Operative to see what we can grab. Moonlit Guidance is always fun. Another Light it burns would be nice, just as additional removal. Ah, Theotar. There is literally nothing in my hand that I don't mind them stealing. I guess the light mob would be a little bit frustrating just because I'd rather have it for this AoE board clear this turn. Or Devouring Plague would have actually been pretty bad. Why did they take so long to just give me Renethal? Should be an easy auto give to your opponent. Okay, so we need to top deck a Shadow Spell, and instead we get Prince Renethal. Okay. We can AoE everything here. Play our order, and kill the last 2 minions, and then just go face. And heal us up a little bit. Great Negotiator. Okay, another Draconoid Operative. Oh, Guff. Now I'm the Ramp Druid. You can just go face. Ah, now that's a little bit frustrating. It's fine because we actually no, we can't kill it. We can kill it now because of the Shard of the Naru. Let's see what we randomly generate. Get the Nourish because why not? I think we're actually going to burn a card, so we probably should have done this in a different order, but oh well. Oh no, we don't burn a card. Good. Going to gain another mana crystal. We're just going to ramp up faster than they can. Going to use that just so we don't have 10 cards in hand, then pass the turn back. So they're going to clear out our board. It's fine. We still do have an AoE board clear technically in hand if we can draw into a shadow spell here. That isn't a shadow spell. Okay. Kazakusan isn't online yet. Murzad actually does give us a board clear, technically. Let's use Switcheroo to Conjurer. This will draw no cards, but it'll give us additional mana. Honestly, probably should have put down the Murzad first, but oh well. Let's just put down a bunch of things, see if we can actually guess, get 3 cards in hand. Of course it's Nourish. I probably should have went for the Nourish just because I knew he had a Nourish pretty early on because of one of our other cards, but oh well.
You gotta be scrappy with scraps.
Drawing a Lotus card. They were really searching for that Guff. let's draw a card. Oh, perfect. That should clear out everything. Don't think that was necessary, but it is what it is. Get 12, put down a dragon. Kazakusan is now online, so we might as well play him down. Honestly, I think this is one of the only games where he actually came up. I always like to have him as an option. Spyglass is funny. Clockwork Assistant is actually really nice. Actually in a really good position here. And though I am a little bit worried of a Sire, since we only have 40 HP. That's kind of weird to say that I'm worried about Sire with only 40 HP, but it is Druid. Okay, Clockwork Assistant. We're just going to draw a card because why not? Spyglass, really nice. Let's see what we get. Oh, Earthen Scales, that's perfect. Okay, so we can use Earthen Scales to gain 19 armor, which is really nice. Really cool how that works. Use that to kill that, and then we can just go face. Now, if they have the second Devourer, we might be in a little bit of a problem. Doesn't look like they do. Really still searching for the Guff. Moonlit Guidance. Oh hey, there's their Guff. I think that's a little bit too late, but it is what it is. Oh, that's nice. We probably should have used that first, because I think I missed lethal by 1, which is a bit frustrating, but we top deck the pure cold and win anyways. Never punished. Okay, time for a game against Warlock. Going to Mulligan away the Shard of the Naru, Prince Renathal, and Murazad. Probably should have actually kept Shard of the Naru, thinking about it. Light It Burns is pretty good if this is Imp, so we can instantly kill whatever they target with. Oh hey, who would have known? It's Imp Warlock. It's always Imp Warlock. Just going to put down the Conjurer. AoE Silence is pretty nice actually. A Bloodbound Imp, it's fine. I don't really care too much. Let's discover a card. Going with the Shard because I've realized my mistake from the Mulligan. Imp Gang Boss. We have 2 AoE silences now. Let's use Identity Theft here. Grabbing that and Sire. There's no reason to get anything besides Sire there. I chose the Draw Power card just because I was assuming that we'll probably take another Imp generating spell, but you never know. Either way, it is a little bit of Draw Power, which is pretty nice. Librarian needs to die instantly. We do have the Light It Burns, which is pretty nice. Okay, I'm gonna AoE silence everything. Shuffle this back into the deck. Second Condemn is really nice, because it is going to be 2 damage per next turn. Though I really wish I had the Shard of the Naru because of this, but oh well. So what do we want to do here? I think we can get rid of a good chunk of the board. Just going to leave these 2 up. We could have actually used Light It Burns, but I have a feeling I'd rather use it for something a little bit bigger, and that categorizes as a little bit bigger. And we do have Light Bomb here too. But do we need to use Light Bomb? We can clear out, I think, 2 of the minions here. Clean up the 1 Imp. Probably a little bit dangerous, but it is what it is. You know they have Sire, because they're that variant of Imp Warlock. I really want to do something with Imp Warlock and Questline, but I don't know. I tried it out very briefly and it did not feel that great. Yes, overextend. That's exactly what I want to see. Because we can hit that, heal a little bit, and then just nuke the board. Saving the coin for... oh, never mind. Discount the Sire to 8, and then we can actually play the Sire next turn. We still haven't stolen any Imp generating cards. Theotar normally would be really nice, but I don't want to give them anything in my hand. Technically, giving them the impending catastrophe wouldn't be that bad, but I still rather not deal with it. Okay, they're going to buff that up. Light it burns, interesting. We can hit that, and then use Light Bomb, kill everything here, besides our minions, then heal up a little bit. I've also just drawn a card to draw a card, but someone's actually running that card in Warlock? That's cool, but why? Let's see what we get here. Draw 2. Gift of the Naru is something I could give them. Let's use Operative, though. That sounds really funny. Going for the Mysterious Imp. They kill all of our minions. But luckily we have Light It Burns, which is real nice, because boy oh boy, do I want to get an entire board back. Yes, buff that up. Why not? Make it a little bit harder for me to kill when it really isn't going to be that hard. I'm going to get everything back here. We can heal a little bit. Drive in the Shadows is real nice. Devouring Plague is real nice. Identity Theft. See what we can generate. Bartender technically is good because we can just shuffle it back into the deck to draw a card. Gang Boss could be nice too. We don't have enough Imps dead for Rafalm to do much, but I kind of want to take the Rafalm just to take it. Grimoire is probably the better bet, to be honest, though. Then heal a little bit more. Okay, so they're going to buff everything up here. I think we're going to have to play the Sire unless we top deck Shard of the Naru. It's not Shard of the Naru. We'll kill the 1/1, deal 2 damage to everything here. Uses that to see what we can hit. Kill that. Put down the Imp. Heal up a little bit more. Kill one of the Imps and then pass turn back. I'm being super greedy with the Sire. I probably shouldn't be, but it is what it is. Okay, they're going to put up a bunch of Imps of their own. And they buff up one of their Imps to an 8/8. Okay, so we are going to have to use Sire. We're probably going to clear out their board a little bit, though, before we do. Because I think we can kill most of their board. Murloc Home's interesting. I'm going to attack with one of the 3/3s. Back into the 1 Imp. Killed it. We only get 1 hit there. Then we can kill the 4/1. And then we have 20 damage to heal up with this. Clears out their entire board. And we have lethal on board. So we should just win next turn unless they have some type of other AoE board clear. AoE Silence is not an AoE board clear. And Rafalm is not an AoE board clear. So we're just going to win with another Sire stolen from our opponent. Alright, now that we're through the games, let's discuss my final thoughts of the deck. Overall, this deck was relatively alright, though I do think it is a little bit inconsistent, at least through the 3 different sets of testing I did with this build, since I had actually originally planned on trying this out really early on, but I was going with more of a Thief package, including things like Copycat or Amalgam of the Deep, so we could actually get a lot of easy early game dragons, but it turns out just having more additional early game removal is a lot better in most cases, especially in a deck like this. Honestly speaking, this is one of those decks that I don't know if I want to recommend it to you all or not recommend it, because it did feel pretty consistent because I did have a 53% win rate across 15 games, which would normally mean it's a deck I would easily recommend. However, the Thief package itself feels like it's just missing a big win condition or 1 or 2 additional cards to make it really relevant. Another change that I would love to see in the future that would probably be really broken and it probably won't ever happen because of the amount of space it would take. Change Mysterious Visitor to, say, for the rest of the game instead of just cards copied from your opponent costs 2 less, because this honestly is one of those cards that sounds really good on paper, but because there isn't enough cards that steal cards from your opponent, it isn't actually going to have much use as it currently stands in a deck like this. You might actually be better off to include some other early game removal tools, though I am pretty maxed out on AoE board clears when it comes to Priest, or maybe a different early game minion. But time will tell if we do see additional support, and it's a deck that I can't wait to see if we do. With that all being said, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, bye bye.